Hello. Let's see how we can put criteria for a query script in Studio 11. So this is the criteria builder, and what you're seeing right now is the criteria fields that I have selected for my query script. So for material number, which is my first criteria field, this is some key information about the field. These are the padding options which are available for the value that you're going to enter for the criteria field. This is the lookup type which you can use to find values for the criteria. Then this is the operator list which can be used for the criteria field. This is the text field in which a value can be entered. These are the criteria types. So it can be a fixed value criteria type, a cell-based criteria type, or a user-defined criteria type. Cell-based criteria type is something new which has been added in version 11. Then this is to make a criteria field a required one. If you want to add more conditions for a field, then you can just click on this plus and conditions will get added. If you do not want them, then simply remove them. So I'll start with my first criteria field, which is material number. I'll use an in operator for material number. Now when I click on this text field, I see this list builder dialog. This list builder dialog has two options to offer. One is static value list and one is dynamic lookup list. Static value list is the list which will get associated with the script at the time of creating it, whereas dynamic lookup list will be picked up at the runtime. So I'll use both the list for material number. Starting with static value list, I can enter values here, or I can do an import from a file, or from cut copy paste, or from SAP F4 lookup. I'll say OK. So my first condition for material number has been entered. Now I want to add another condition for material number. I'll again use in operator for it. I'll click on text field, list builder dialog gets launched. I'll say dynamic lookup list. Here again you have two options. One is current dataset file and one is linked Excel or text file. So current dataset file is the one that is being used currently with the script. Linked Excel or text file is an external Excel file or a text file which can be used as an input for the criteria field. So I'll say linked Excel or text file. I'll click on configure dynamic list. Now I'll choose the Excel file which is to be used as an input. The values to be used are from rows 3 to 10, and the column where the values are available is column D. Since there are no descriptions for these values, so I'll not worry much about this. I'll uncheck trim leading spaces, but I'll keep this option as checked because I want to trim all the trailing spaces. I'll click on OK. So all the values are reflected here, as well as the file path is mentioned here. I'll click on OK, and the same information is available in this text field. Now I'm done with the first criteria field. Coming to the second one, which is plant. I'm going to use an equal operator for this, but I'm going to use a cell-based criteria type. So a cell-based criteria type is nothing but I can just mention the cell value here from where the value for plant will be picked up. So I'll say C2 as the cell value, and at runtime or preview runtime, the value mentioned in C2 will be picked up for plant. I'm done with plant. Now I'll set the criteria for date of last change field. I'll use a between operator for this. I'll pick up the start date from the calendar, which is say 3rd November 2014, and the end date is 31st December 2014. I'll click on OK, and I'm done with date of last change as well. Now the last criteria field, which is language key, I'm gonna make it a user defined criteria field, and I'm gonna mark it as required, as well as I want to give the option of SAP only to search for the values for language key. Now I want to add another criteria field, which is material type, to my criteria builder. So this material type was not available in my criteria builder earlier, but was selected as an output field. So all the output fields are available here. I can just select any one of them as a criteria field as well. So again, I'm gonna leave it as user defined criteria field. I'm gonna say SAP optional as the lookup type. Now I'm done with setting up of criteria for my query script, and I'll say preview run. So this is the runtime form which the user will see once he or she clicks on preview run, as well as the runner will see at the time of executing the script. So my material number, which is a user defined criteria type field, so values are mentioned here. Then plant, for which the value would be picked up from C2. So I'll go to data set, and in data set I'll enter the value as 1000 in cell C2 for plant, so that at the runtime the value can be picked up. And for language key, since this is a required field, I'll have to select the value. I'll select English as the value for language key, and now I'm good to go. Now if I just do a preview run here, it will get all the values matching this criteria. That's it. Thank you.